Greetings, comrades. I'm doing this video today as a response, I guess an add to a video that Richard did over at Richard Reads, and it was kind of a rant. Richard, I'm sure you won't mind if I say that. I hope you won't. It was kind of, in a good way, about people worrying about their to-be-read list. And I'm with him 100% on this. Stop worrying about your to-be-read list. Stop worrying about how many books you have on it. And stop worrying about buying more books until your to-be-read list is gone. Now, I know that different people read in different ways, and they have different psychologies, and some things make them feel good and some things don't. If it doesn't bother you to have books on your to-be-read list, then don't create a situation that makes it bother you. Don't go looking for trouble, I guess is the point of it. If you're one of those people that can't stand something like that, then obviously don't make yourself crazy by piling up your TBR list. But don't let anyone talk you into or tell you that you have to have zero. I cannot imagine how depressed I would be if I went and stood in front of my bookshelves and there was nothing to read that I had not already read. Now, I rarely reread books because I am pretty much a card-carrying member of Team Slow Reader, and I don't have time. So, once in a while I do, but not very often. And I love having bookshelves full of books. And you know what? Here's the thing. Just read. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you buy 100 books a year and read 10. You're reading, okay? Not only that, but you're supporting the industry. You support used bookstores or authors and publishers if you buy new books. I mean, if people weren't out there buying books in book hauls, all those people who only buy a book and then read a book and then buy a book and read a book wouldn't have anything to read, okay? Because there wouldn't be enough books being sold. I always want to have more books on my bookshelf that I haven't read. I mean, I can't imagine it being otherwise. I'm a mood reader, okay? And I think for mood readers especially, it's essential to have extra books on your bookshelf in the not read yet column, because you never know what you're going to be in the mood to read. If you're a methodical reader and you read, this and you read that and you read this and you've got your plan laid out and that works for you and you're comfortable with it and that's what makes you happy, go for it. But don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't have books on your to-be-read list. Don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't be buying more books until you read the ones you've got. Don't let anyone try and guilt trip you just because they might feel guilty about that. Doesn't mean you should. That's their psychology. Let them have their fun with it. But that doesn't mean you have to. So, right on, Richard, in the words of my generation, for putting that out there. I agree with you. Don't let anyone feel guilty about that. Another thing it brought up for me, or that it reminded me of, is something that actually came up for me this week, is the how many books are you going to read this year kind of challenge. Now, I put a high number out there of books that I want to read because I do want to read a lot of books this year. And, I tend to read a lot of middle grade novels, and those can go fairly fast. But this month, for the month of January, I realized that I was feeling kind of weird because it's like, oh my God, I got to find small books to read because I need to get ahead, because later on I'm going to want to read books that are thicker, and I'm a slow reader and it's going to take me a long time. I'm going to get behind. And all of a sudden it was like, whoa, where's that coming from? It's like, okay, you know what? I would rather put 10 books on my list that I intend to read this year, books to read, and read more than that, than be under the pressure of having to read a certain number of books, and mostly not reading a book that I really want to read because it'll take me too long. So, I mean, there are a lot of books out there I want to read, and to some extent, having a goal is okay because it'll kind of help me keep focused, and I can tend to be lazy and dawdle. And so it might help there. But you know what? If I don't reach that goal, I don't care. If I'm happy with what I'm reading and I'm happy, with all of that kind of stuff, if I make the goal, fine. If I don't, that's fine too. I couldn't care less. I want to enjoy reading, and you should too. And if you're like me and you're kind of lazy, then maybe setting a goal like that will help you to, not spend your time playing Candy Crush quite so much, and do your reading a little bit. It's helped me. And so that's great, but don't put any pressure on yourself. Life has got enough pressures on it as it is, and it's like Richard said, reading should be enjoyable, reading should be fun. Unless you're reading for work, unless you're an editor or a proofreader, unless you're in college or going to the university and you're an English major or whatever kind of major, and you have to read a lot of stuff that you just have to read in order to get your degree, reading is supposed to be a good thing. It's supposed to be a pleasurable thing. It's not supposed to give you anxiety. So at the first hint of anxiety, ask yourself why you're feeling it. Ask yourself what you have to let go of in order to get rid of that feeling. So that's my answer to add to a little rant about things like that. Don't worry about your TBR shelf. I love having lots of books on my TBR shelf. I don't want to go through life without having a lot of books around me that I really am excited about and want to read. And don't worry about how many books you read in a year. Read what you can, read what you love, If you're not satisfied with the number of books you're reading, then go ahead and do something to try and up that. But don't feel bad if you don't make your goals. It's just reading, people. And I don't say that I don't say just in a bad way, because it's a wonderful thing. If it weren't, we wouldn't be on here talking about this and making these videos and all of this kind of stuff and being happy and enthusiastic about the books that we're so excited about. So it should be exciting and fun and all of those kind of things. And socially redeeming too, and helping you to grow and things like that. But I just think most of all, it should make you happy. And that's what your reading goals should do, is make you happy. That's what your TBR shelf should do, is make you happy. All of that stuff should make you happy. And if it's not, then just take another look at it, okay? So, that's my 2 cents for what it's worth. And I've got some more videos coming up this weekend, the Rex and Rap. And so I think that'll do it for now. Oh, and maybe I'll do my book haul for January, since I did get some books this month. Ha ha ha. More books from my TBR shelf. Okay, that's it for now. Happy trails and happy reading. Bye.